everybody, welcome back to another video, and today is a different one. This one, I am going to be designing my characters from 9 Lives as magical girls. And this is going to be starting a series that I'm going to do for a while, where I try to design them as if they were in different series. This is the first one, and I have another one planned for May as well, which is themed around Mermaid, so I was gonna tell you to guess what that one is, but it's kind of obvious now that I say that. Anyway, I actually ended up doing a lot of research for this episode because I wanted to look at certain trends in magical girls so that I could actually get it like proper and make it seem like they would actually be in a magical girl show. The first thing that I looked at is a bunch of different magical girls and tried to look at some similarities between them. So I have some notes here. My first note is short flared dresses. So the two people that I put in dresses, Chris and Thea, I felt like it would be a crime if I didn't put Chris in a dress. Um, if you don't understand that, I don't understand it either. But a long time ago, in my sketchbook, I just drew Chris in a dress one time randomly, and now it has become a running joke that every time I do a special, Chris is in a dress. I think there's only like one or maybe two specials where he isn't in a dress, and I even put him in a dress for a couple jokes in the actual comic. It's just a thing now. I don't know. It's here now too. It's here too. Anyway, I put the two of them in dresses, and I made sure that the dresses were pretty short and high up and very flared and very fluffy. And this is obviously for movability reasons, so that they are easy to move around in. The next one is heels are a crime. I noticed that I don't think I ever even saw a single magical girl that had heels on. So I just heels. I've subtracted them from the equation. Nobody has heels on. The next one is each member has their own color. This one is pretty easy since all of my 9 Lives characters have their own color anyway. Thea is green, Chris is blue, Teddy is yellow, and Val is purple. And even some other characters also have their own color, which is actually going to feed into another video I'm going to do soon. Anyway, the next thing that I looked at is ribbons. A lot of characters have ribbon designs, and so I tried to pull that into Thea and Chris's designs in particular. The next one is interesting silhouettes. I don't know if I captured this quite as well as I thought that I did, but I think each of the characters does have a different and more distinct silhouette. Just maybe not as distinct as I hoped they would be. The next one is that typically hair either grows or changes colors in some way sometimes. So for what I did here is I decided to give each of them their own little hair streaks. So each of them has a streak of a different color of hair, um, which is thematic with the rest of their outfit. The next one is a theme, and for this theme, I decided to do elements. So each of them has a different element. Now, the elements are kind of weird, but I use these elements in other things, so I'm gonna call it a thing. Chris's element is water to tie into his association with the moon. Val's is ice because he's very cool and like calm, collected person. Thea's is fire because she's a very loud, angry person all the time. And Teddy's is light because I use light as an element, guys. I use light as an element, and I always associate Chris with the moon and Teddy with the sun. So I pulled from those for both their designs, and that's a thing. Okay, that's a thing. I even gave them little brooches on their chests, which you would have seen better in the design section and not right now where I'm drawing the poster. They have little brooches that you can see, and they have their a little logo on them. Teddy's is the sun. Chris is the moon going into a wave, like the Avatar symbol for water, and the Thea's is a little flame, and Val's is a snowflake. And I put these little elements throughout their designs, except I didn't really add any wave designs to Chris, and mostly focused on getting that wave pattern in his ruffles, because he has a 3-layer dress with a bunch of ruffles in it. Then the next one is they all have like little fairy mascots in them, so I just decided to make Midnight the little mascot. So you see, she's up there floating around. She's just a cat. She's just a cat that floats and probably has a personality and does some things. She's the fairy that gave them all their powers. That's her. That's who she is. And anyway, that is all of those things, but I also did a little bit of extra research and tried to look at magical boys. And it's really sad to realize that magical boys are kind of rare. Um there have been like dedicated magical boy shows, but when it comes to like magical boys in groups of magical girls, I could only find 2 examples of them, and I'm really sad. Um both of them are actually from Pretty Cure shows. One of them is more of like a tuxedo mask character though, which is Black Pepper, and another one was Cure Wing, who is a character that people don't even think is a girl. And I'm really people think is a girl. They don't even think that he's an actual guy. But I believe that it is canon that he is a guy. I don't know. I don't watch the show. Maybe I'll look into that for a different video. But things that I took out of this is that typically they put magical boys in more like knight or prince themed outfits. So I tried to pull from that into Val and Teddy's designs. Then I also had some elements that I wanted to pull from both of them to make into interesting silhouettes, and to tie in with the ribbon theme that I put for the other two, I added coattails as a theme for the boys. Thea has ribbons in the form of her karate belt that I thought would be an interesting element that she already has, and for Chris, I pulled from his scarf and tied it around his waist like a ribbon. And then Teddy doesn't have anything interesting in that remark, but I did pull from his original design to give him a big turtleneck sweater, so that it's a big covering on his neck, because this is something that he doesn't like to show. And then for Val, I tied in his red accents in the form of a little red string, tying together the 2 ends of his coattails. And then I added the little streaks into their hair. Teddy's is yellow, as usual. I was thinking of making it white, but I didn't want to because I thought that it would just be a little bit out of place because his entire color scheme is green and yellow, so I felt like the white would be too out of place. So instead, I just went with yellow. Uh, uh Chris is blue, obviously. Teddy, I already did Teddy. Fuck. Thea's is this red color. This is the only red color that I thought would work with her outfit because of all the greens. And then of course, Val's is a very pale blue that contrasts from Chris's blue. They're supposed to be very distinct, different blues. I really like the way that I incorporated different elements into their designs, and including elements from their original designs into them as well. Thea has a bunch of she has like collars in a few of her designs, so I gave her a collar. Thea, Chris and Val have both worn turtlenecks quite often, so I gave them turtlenecks. Well, Chris has worn a scarf around his neck, so I kind of wanted to hide it a little bit, so I gave them the little popped up lapels. And then after that, I added a bunch of special effects for their little powers that they have. And that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Enjoy the final reveal. Bye bye.